Hey, it's Don here at Tapestry Music in Vancouver, 2705 Main Street, our new location. We're doing a grand opening July 5th. Come see us on that Saturday. We're going to have some live music and amazing stuff going on. I am here with a couple special guests that showed up out of the blue. This is Brian from the VIP Soundcheck and Jesse from BEL Development. Yeah, okay, there we go. And I've chatted with these guys online lots of times. I've seen their stuff, and it's fantastic. I've talked with Jesse a few times. He's a sound guy, live, does a lot of support for some local bands. Great musician too. Yeah, I'll let you guys introduce yourselves a little bit, talk about what your channel's about, what you both do.
Sure. Well, thanks, Don. Thanks for having us. Appreciate it. I'm Brian Moritz with the VIP Soundcheck, like Don said, and I'm actually an American, so I'm the foreigner here. But
welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Grew up in Erie, PA. I'm actually in the Nashville area now, and I'm up here to see Freeze the Fall. Go their album release, and that's how Jesse and I became friends. Was through kind of the Freeze the Fall community, and I think that's something that we've talked about many times. All of us being YouTubers, that's kind of the cool thing is, the getting to meet the people, share their stories, and,
for sure,
and the love of music and everything that comes with it. So,
yeah, man, that's fantastic. It's true. Like, we have like minds. We're all music interested, musicians, backgrounds, and related to it in some way. Social media is the way to do this stuff now,
yep.
And we're connecting, and it's making the giant world a very small place. And the fact that I'm working here and I find out you're randomly in town. I live a little out of town. You live way out of town. You live way out of country. So, and the three of us are just here hanging out, talking about like-minded stuff. So that's fantastic. Hey, Jesse, why don't you tell us?
Hey, what's up? So I'm Jess, BEL Development. So as Don said, I've been a sound guy for, half my life now. And my YouTube channel is just about trying to make live production and studio production available to whoever wants to do their own projects or create stuff at home for themselves, right? And through that journey, I also found Freeze the Fall and a couple other like really good rock bands, The Warning being one of them we were talking about. And we all seem to support all the kind of the same artists online too. So it was like we walked in here and it's like we all knew each other. Like, who would have thought? Like, it's such a cool world where you can support things you're really passionate about with this group of people from all over the world, and you can like truly become friends and acquaintances with everyone, and then you just run into each other randomly in Vancouver like this. So here we are.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So yeah, I'm a professional musician. I do live music. I work in this stuff all the time. And so when I'm listening to music and when I'm looking for concerts to go to, I want to see stuff where there's people who are really performing live. Like if I go to a club with my wife or whatever, I'm the guy who goes up to the front and looks at the live band while she's out there like drinking and hanging out with friends. That's the way I am. But live music these days, there's two different types. There's a lot of stuff when you're touring, you have to automate a lot of stuff. You have to have performance visual stuff, and it's a different kind of a thing from what I normally am interested in watching. So I tend to gravitate to music that some people might call like the old school rock stuff, but it's not old school anymore. It's making a huge comeback. Rock, live music, lots of different genres, not just rock, country, all kinds of stuff is making a huge, real live performance comeback. Yep. It almost kind of started with people like Taylor Swift, who like actually writes and plays and sings and does so live. But now we've got like great bands coming out. So for me, the thing was when The Warning appeared, I had seen them as little kids and I thought, hey, this is cool. And then just forgot about them. And then I did a concert myself at the Community Theatre in Vancouver. And the next day, saw Elizabeth from The Charismatic Voice, YouTube channel, fantastic opera singer, does some music analysis and vocal analysis. She analyzed this video evolved by this band, The Warning. I was like, what? This is wild. Who's doing this? It's incredible. And that got me really excited. So I got into that band and realized this is the same band that were little kids. And there's kind of a similar story with Freeze to Fall in some ways, and there's a bit of a connection. But like you know the background with like how that started out. Like let's talk a little bit about The Warning, right? Because they're an amazing band, right? So you know a lot about The Warning. You're very involved.
Absolutely, and very similar to you. I remember years ago seeing these three little girls. I was like, that's pretty cute. They're playing Metallica. That's impressive. Didn't think much of it after that, and then. I started seeing them online, and it actually was for The Warning, their cover of Enter Sandman, that I was like, these girls are incredible. And I started looking up some more stuff by them. And on a prior channel that I was associated with, I actually got the opportunity to interview Danny and Pal.
Wow.
So I was the guy that gave Danny the donut pillow during the interview, and it ended up in the More video. So that's my 15
That's
seconds
awesome.
of fame. But very similar, seeing them live is what really makes you a fan. I mean, we've all experienced that, where it's like you hear the music, it's incredible. You see a band like that just gives their all and puts on a show. And like you said, I'm the guy that's up there. I want to see the band perform. I don't care about other things going on. And then Freeze to Fall was very much the same. We talked about before we started. We saw Freeze to Fall. I saw them online do a cover of I think it was Evolve, wasn't it? Yep. And I got to check these kids out. Same thing, and they were incredible. And interviewed them with my current channel, and they just were not only phenomenal musicians, but just people you want to root for.
Yeah.
And you see that, and that's how Jesse and I became friends, and how you start to become friends with other YouTubers that react to them, because we all, like we talked about, like the same thing, and it's cool to find that community like that.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And they were young when they did the Evolve thing. They were like middle teenagers.
14 and 15, I believe. Yeah.
That's insane, right? And like it's a power trio, guitar, bass, and drums. Guitarist is the lead singer. They're all fantastic players, all fantastic musicians, and they were born to be rock stars, clearly, right? And I mean, Jesse, you've had the privilege of not only becoming like live sound for them and a lot of production involvement, but you've performed live with them. I mean, you've jammed with them, hung out with them. So tell me a bit about all that stuff.
Yeah, it's wild, man. And shout out to The Warning and The Warning Army. We did a Warning cover as a kind of a tribute and like a thanks to The Warning Army for being so supportive and taking Freeze the Fall under their wing like so early, right? That first video went crazy, and they had no intentions of it really being public or anything, and it did 30,000 views in like a pretty short amount of time, and that got them. Where would the story go from that? That got them a lot of attention. Myself being one of the early adapters, and they were pushed to record their own EP and put this whole project together. And so when the EP release happened, similar to why we're in Vancouver today, this was last April, they put on a show and they said, hey, Jess, you kind of helped us get moving on this. Why don't you do a song with us? It was like, I haven't performed in 10 years. But sure, I could dust up a little bit.
Though, right?
Yeah, something like that. I think it was Dawn that was like, yo, man, that sounds like it's at the top of your register.
Yeah. I was like, you're pushing, you pulled it off. Great, man. It was rock star material.
It happened. For sure it happened. But yeah, man, I remember watching one of their early originals, and the song has changed since, when they had a producer and they kind of made some creative changes to make it a little bit kind of smoother, more available, I guess, for the general listener. They made some changes, so over time it did change. But I just remember listening and being these young teenagers are writing songs that are very meaningful. They're very well thought out. They showcase each musician fairly, and it's still cohesive. It doesn't feel like they're just trying to be hey, we have a great bass player. Check out this great bass player. It's no, we just have great music that's happening, and it doesn't matter what you're listening to, you're gonna appreciate it. And from there, getting to meet them and how humble they are and how close knit of a family they are, and I talk to them more than I talk to my wife. It's just kind of how it happens, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. That's awesome. Absolutely. Yeah, it's funny. I'm one of my main instruments is bass, as you know, and we've got dingwall basses here, and I've been watching the fan fret stuff, and I'm watching Arya from Freeze the Fall, and she's playing all kinds of crazy stuff on the bass, and I'm it's musicians now, these young musicians, I don't know where exactly they're getting all their influences from, but they're all pushing themselves the way that I did when I was young. And it seems like a lot of people didn't so much for the instrumental stuff in the middle. There was kind of a break of the anti-skill of shoegazers, which is still skillful and good, right? I mean, but it's a different sort of a genre of you're not going to be actively really working to be a technician and still musical. but bands these days are doing that, and it's great to see. You got to stop performing with people with like female lead singers though, because we can't keep up with this stuff, right? It's like, I know, like, I want to do covers of them, but I can't do it, right?
You gotta shift it down like a whole fourth just to get the notes out.
Exactly. So tell me about the concert. I don't know if this will be up in time before that, but either way, there's a concert tonight featuring Freeze the Fall. Where's that at?
So we're playing at the Fox Theater Cabaret, whichever alignment of words that is. It's our EP release tonight for the Red Garden, and there's 2 great opening bands, and of course they're both slipping my name, so I hope we can put their titles in or their Instagrams in or something underneath.
Yeah, we'll do that for sure.
And yeah, it's gonna be great, man. Like we're playing, I believe it's a 45 or a 50-minute set, and I'm just looking forward to hearing some of the new songs, man. They're gonna go pretty hard. Them breakdowns, let me tell you. Like same thing though, but like the being a technician is coming back. Like people like, excuse me for this, but they like the like nerdiness of it. Like you see people that are like chess grandmasters, they like have crazy numbers of Twitch streamers. People just like seeing people that are so engaged in their art, and that's bleeding into music too, which I think is just fantastic. And this is a great band to see if you want to see some like masterful playing.
It's gonna be my first time seeing them live.
Nice.
Actually, first time meeting them, so
Cool.
That's exciting. Getting to meet everybody. You know, we've talked a number of times, and it's exciting to me because I've always liked different kinds of music from around the world. And you know, being from the U.S., one of the things that is kind of frustrating me, we have a ton of great bands down there, obviously, but I find that there's, for some reason, people are less likely to be open to bands from around the world, even Canada and Mexico. It's like, but once they hear them, they love them. And so that's part of my goal is I find these bands like Freeze the Fall, like The Warning. You know, I'm going next month to Sweden. My favorite band, Smash Into Pieces, over there. And I love being able to just say, hey, guys, check these bands out.
Oh, yeah.
And so everybody watching, you know, don't just listen to the radio. That's usually crap anyway. You know, get out there, find it on YouTube, find some amazing music. You'll find some incredible stuff out there.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, man. For sure. A couple other people that I know from online are just walking into the store too. This is a busy day. I follow them too. Hey, wow, that's hilarious. So anyway, yeah, this has been a fantastic talk. The great news about the show tonight. This is going to be really exciting. I wish I could be there. I'm going to be busy, but I'm going to be there next time. September, I think.
20,
Yeah. I'm going to be in there for sure. So check them out. Freeze the Fall, fantastic band. Also check out BEL Development and VIP Soundcheck, fantastic channels. And again, this is Tapestry Music, Vancouver. We're the music store. We ship everywhere. Almost everywhere.
Come check them out. This store is awesome. Come check them out.
Yeah, our new store, this place is huge. So check us out online. We've got videos showing what we can do. We sell everything. We do everything you want. And we're all, the criteria for working is we all have to be musicians. So all of us can answer any of your questions anytime. Give us a call. Look us up. 2705 Main Street, Vancouver, BC. My name's Don. See you soon.